So you are going to sit nice and tall, hand weights on those shins. And we're just going to imagine like they're heavier than they are. And you're going to use that pressure, that weight up against those shins just to grow a little bit taller here. So you're going to take a big inhale and just kind of stretch the spine up. And just exhale and let those weights be nice and heavy. And then from this position, it's not a big movement, but you're going to inhale and just tuck your tail and kind of curl your low back just a little bit. And then as you exhale, press the weights against the shins and lift even taller through the crown of the head. So you're going to inhale and curl your spine down. And then exhale, press into those shins and lift nice and tall. As you curl back, try not to really round the shoulders. Try to keep the shoulders pretty neutral. So all of that movement, it won't be very big, but it's all in your low back. And then inhale and just curl back a little bit. And then exhale back tall. Let's do one more there. And then from this position, we're going to inhale and just float those weights up in front of you. As you exhale, start to curl down. So we're going to tuck the tail and round the spine down just to that upper ab curl. So you're not going to go all the way down. And then you're going to curl back forward. You're going to inhale, let those weights kind of help, almost like they're pulling you up. And you're going to come up to that tall spine again. So it's that round down halfway, curling back. If you feel like going all the way down to the tips of those shoulder blades is too far for you, you could stop sooner. And then that curl back up. One more just like that, with those weights out in front of you. Nice and controlled movements here. And then exhale and curl back up. So we're going to do the same idea, just adding a little bit more movement with those weights. So we're going to inhale and reach the arms up high toward the ceiling. Exhale, come out wide to the sides. Inhale, you're going to round your spine forward, reaching the weights in front of you, and then exhale and roll all the way back down. Same idea here from that upper ab curl. So inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale out wide to the side. Inhale, arms in front of you. Exhale and curl your spine forward. So a little bit of choreography. Arms can reach up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale out wide. Inhale, round your spine forward. Exhale, roll your spine down. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale out wide. Inhale in front of you. And exhale to curl. Two more here. Reaching those arms up tall. Bringing them out wide to the side. Rounding your spine forward. Reaching and then rolling the spine down just to that curl. And then again, arms reach up. Out to the side. Back in front of you. And rolling back forward. And then just take a moment there. You can kind of round your spine and stretch. And then we're going to stay seated with this really big bend in the knees. Weights are going to be on either side of you. So you're going to have one on each side. And we're just going to do a small movement, but you're going to take the right hand, bring it across and reach it toward that left hand weight. And then come back up and over with that right arm and go across with the left. So one at a time, you're going to bring the weight over, bring the other one over to meet it, and then back to that first side and over. Alternating there. Watson and Maeve say good morning to you. I don't know if you can hear them. That open, and then to that other side. Even though we're not technically kind of doing any core work here, I find that as that weight comes across the body, you can feel those side waist muscles or those oblique muscles. Good. One more on each side. Good. And then we're going to straighten out those legs. So if you have trouble sitting tall on your sit bones with straight legs, you can definitely take a bend in the knees. Both arms are going to come out in front of you, legs hugging in toward one another. We're going to curl down, and almost like you're rowing, you're going to pull those weights down toward one side, and then you can come back up tall and reach them in front of you again. So that curl down to the opposite side, elbows hug in, and then back up. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, sit back tall, and then switch. So just alternating there. Let's do 2 more sets on each side. That curl down and back up. Last one here. Good, take a stretch. You can set your weights down, round your spine forward, reaching maybe toward those feet or ankles or shins. Just relaxing there. And then we're gonna do our full roll down, holding those weights. So we did a version of this earlier where you just came to the upper ab curl. This time we're gonna keep going. So start with the weights out in front of you, about shoulder height. You're gonna inhale and tuck your tail, curl your spine down. Use that pressure of the hand weights. As you reach those arms overhead, you're gonna do a big circle. So you're gonna circle the arms out to the side, come up with the arms beside you. So you're gonna round your spine forward and stretch. Same movement with the spine, just reverse the arms. You're gonna curl down with those arms at your side. This time they're gonna go out to the side and come back overhead, and then they'll curl up in front of you. So same movement with the spine, alternating the arms. Curling down, arms in front of you. Go straight back overhead. Exhale, circle out wide to the side, and curl your spine back up. If this is too much work, you can absolutely set those weights down, or you could do the half roll down instead of the full thing. Good. That rolling down overhead with the arms, out wide to the side, and circle back up. Last one here. Going out wide to the side, rolling the spine down, arms overhead, and then straight arms, and coming all the way back up. And we'll stretch there. So feel free to take any stretch that feels good. Taking a few deep breaths. Good. All right, we're gonna just take those arms or the weights underneath our hands. You're gonna lie yourself back for single leg circles. So the weights, we're not gonna be lifting them. The palm of your hand is gonna press down on top of them. If you need a little bend in your leg that stays down, feel free to take it. Your other leg is gonna reach up for the ceiling, and you're gonna cross over your body and back around. So the goal with the weights on this one is just that point of contact. You're keeping a little bit of pressure down on top of them, almost like you're rolling them down away from you toward your feet as that opposite leg circles. And then go the other direction, out to the side. Exhale, circle back around. Inhale to start the circle, and exhale. Lots of work here to keep that leg as straight as you can, reaching long out of the hip. One more breath. And then we'll just switch sides, so you can take any adjustment you need there. One leg anchoring down, either straight or a little bit bent. Opposite leg stretches up for the ceiling, hands press down beside you on top of those weights, and draw your circles with the leg. So inhale to start to circle, exhale around, really working on that hip stability here. Trying not to rock too much side to side as that leg circles. One more. And then go that other direction. So inhale outside the body, exhale across the midline and back up. One more there. Good. All right, so we're going to take those weights, hold them in your hands, and open the arms out to the side. So you're going to kind of make a big T. The weights are just going to weight down your palms. So palms will be face up, weights on top. Knees are going to float up to tabletop. And we're going to do a little twist here. So you're going to drop both knees over to one side, leaving those arms wide and down on the floor. And then inhale, come up through the center and go to that other side. So you're working on that stretch across the arms, across the shoulders, across the chest as those knees drop side to side, plus that added core work to move the legs side to side. So inhale up through the center, exhale as you twist to one side. Inhale back through the center, And exhale to twist to that other side. You might notice that one side is tighter than the other. That's perfectly fine. As we do these, just really try to connect your breath and your movement. So it's an exhale as you twist. Inhale up through the center. Exhale to twist to that other side. One more on each side there. Good, come back up through the center, and then we're gonna make our way up to seated for rolling like a ball. So a couple of options, we are gonna use the hand weights. You can either hug them back behind your thighs, or you can hug onto your shins. Either variation is fine. The shins will be a little bit more of a challenge. You're gonna tuck the chin forward, so you're looking down toward your belly button. Float the feet up so that you're hovering above the floor there. And then as you inhale, you're gonna roll back, exhale, and roll back up. And just try to catch your balance. With that weight, even though it's not a ton of weight, it will be harder to catch your balance at the top. So feel free to play around with it. If the full roll doesn't feel good, you absolutely can do the mini rock version where you tilt back 1 inch at a time and come back up. And inhale back. Exhale back up. 3 more there. All right, so let's find your balance. You're gonna float up there. Arms are just gonna come down. Actually, let's float the arms up as well. So you're holding here, arms in front of you, legs lifted. You're going to slowly roll down just to that upper ab curl. You're gonna roll down. You can do this series with your head down if that feels better. Arms are gonna stay still. One leg's gonna press forward, and then you're gonna pull the other leg in and press the other one out. So you're gonna inhale on one leg and exhale on the other. This is our single leg stretch. Pulling one leg in and then switch. Use that breath, connect it to your movement, that stretch out. Exhale, pull back in. 1 more on each. Good, take a little rest. Let your head come down. If you wanna let your feet come down, stretch out the hips, the low back, anything that feels tight. We're going to do that double leg stretch next. So legs are gonna float up to tabletop, and then you're gonna curl up and just set those weights kind of right beside the shins. So as you inhale, you're gonna push the legs forward, the arms are gonna float back, and then exhale and hug everything back in. So inhale, stretch out, exhale back in. This is another one that can be done with your head down. You'll just want to take your feet up higher toward the ceiling. Reach out and hug back in. 2 more. Good, and then take a rest. So come all the way back down. Give yourself a little break there. Stretch out anything that needs to be stretched out. And then for scissors, I want you to leave your weights down on the floor, but you're gonna have your hands just kind of pressing down right on top of them. Both legs are gonna curl up for the ceiling. You can leave your head down, or you can come up into that upper ab curl. But what we're gonna do is with those legs, you're gonna lower one leg straight down and then pull it up as the other one lowers down. So it's a straight leg scissor. Exhale on one leg. Inhale up, exhale to switch. Lots of core work here. Make sure you're not straining in the neck. If you feel like you are, bring your head back down. 1 more on each side. Good, all the way back down. Take that rest. Turn on a fan if you need one. And breathing there. All right, our next one is going to be that double leg lower lift. So it's the same kind of starting position as scissors. Head down or up, whatever you're more comfortable with. Hands pressing down into those weights. Both legs are going to move together. You're going to lower both legs out away from you. Pull both legs back up. Inhale to stretch them down. Exhale back in. Use your breath as a tool. Help through those sticky spots. 1 more there. And then just let go of your weights. You can actually hug the legs. So hold on to the knees, hug the legs in, rock a little side to side, and breathe. Good, we're gonna come up. So we're gonna come all the way up to seated and do a little bit of our spine stretch. So with those hand weights, you're gonna sit nice and tall, legs about hip distance apart. And then arms are gonna reach up. So we're gonna take a big inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna curl your spine forward. So just round the spine. Those weights are gonna reach down toward your feet. Inhale to stack tall. So you're gonna inhale and come all the way up. Exhale to round the spine. Drew, can you check it? Then inhale to lift tall. And then exhale to curl.
I don't see anything.
Let that big breath in. Reaching up high for the ceiling. Exhale, you're gonna round your spine forward. 2 more here. At any point, if those weights get too heavy, just set them down beside you. You can do all of this without them. Good. Set the weights down and take a stretch. So you can grab onto your feet, to your ankles, to your shins. Rock a little side to side. And then we're going to do one, or a few actually, that are they're kind of versions of a reformer exercises that we do. So we'll be seated for these. If it's hard for you to sit like this, you can take a pillow underneath your hips. But we're going to take the hands and flip them away from you. So palms are going to face away from you, and the hands are going to be kind of right at the chest. You're going to sit nice and tall. As you inhale, you're going to curl your spine back. So you're going to round your spine down. Hold here. Reach those arms out away from you. You're going to pull forward if you can. Hook your thumbs behind you, and you're going to stretch those arms up. Inhale, reach out around toward those ankles, and then exhale, you'll come back to that starting spot. So it's 3 full breaths. I'll walk you through it. Inhale, curl back halfway. Exhale, arms stretch out at your sides. Inhale, nose toward your knees, hands reach behind you. Exhale, hook the thumbs and stretch the arms up. Inhale, reach out toward the ankles, and then exhale back to that starting position. Let's do 2 more there. Inhale to curl back. Exhale to reach the arms out. Inhale to round forward. Exhale, hook the thumbs, stretch the arms up. Inhale, weights reach out toward those ankles, and then exhale back tall. Last one here, that curling back. Holding as you reach the arms away. Dive the nose forward, the arms stretch back. Hook the thumbs, lift the arms up. Reach out and around toward those feet, and then stack all the way back tall. So we're gonna do something very similar, but it's gonna be a flat back version. So you're gonna rotate the hands, almost like you've set the backs of your arms on a shelf. As you inhale, you're gonna lean back with a flat back. Exhale, stretch the arms up and dive forward toward your feet. And then from here, it's the same as the other one. Inhale, reach out and around toward your back. Exhale, hook the thumbs and stretch up. Inhale, back toward those ankles. Exhale, find that shelf position. So that tall spine with elbows bent. Inhale to hinge back. Exhale, arms reach up, round your spine forward. Inhale, reach out and around to the side. Exhale, thumbs hook, lift the arms. Inhale, back around toward those feet. And then exhale to stack all the way tall. 2 more here. That flat back hinge. Arms stretch up, round toward the feet. Inhale out wide to the side. Exhale, thumbs hook and lift. Inhale back toward those feet. And then exhale back tall. Last one, that hinging back. Reach the arms up, round your spine forward. Inhale out wide with those arms. Hook the thumbs. Exhale, stretch the shoulders. Inhale back to the feet. And then exhale back tall. Good work. All right, so our next one is also a modification or a version of a reformer exercise. So you're gonna be seated cross-legged. Again, if that's not comfortable, you can absolutely sit tall on something, and that will help, like a pillow or a bolster. That will help just a little bit. So we're gonna take the weights out wide. This one's called Hug a Tree. So you're gonna imagine like there's a giant tree in front of you. As you inhale, you're gonna bring those fingertips in to touch in front of you. And then exhale, open the arms wide, hug those shoulder blades. So that inhale, squeezing, giving your tree a nice big hug. And then exhale and open out wide. Again, at any point, if you need to put those weights down and do this without weights, that's perfectly fine. Good. Inhale to squeeze in. Exhale to open. Same idea, we're just going to switch the breath. So before you move, take a big inhale. As you exhale, bring those arms together. Inhale, open wide. Exhale to hug in. Awesome. One more there. Good. We're going to give those shoulders a break. So you're going to set your weights down. We're not going to use them on this next one. And we'll do a little bit of our open leg rocker. So hands can be back behind the backs of the legs, or they can be on the calves. Try to find your balance. We're going to do a little stretch work. We're going to reach one leg out away from you, and then just bend the knee and lower that leg back down. And then switch sides. Reach that other leg out away, and then come all the way back in. Trying to keep your balance here. It can be hard as that leg lifts. Good. That reach up and exhale back down. One more on each side, or make yourself even there. We're going to do both legs together. So you're going to stretch both legs up and then bend at the knees, bring both feet back down to touch. Just the edges of the feet touch. That reach up with both legs. And then roll or fold back in. Eyes can stay trained down low, kind of on your belly button. One more there. And then we're going to try that roll if rolling feels good for you. If not, you can do the mini rock version. Legs are going to be extended up. You can hold on to the calves or down lower behind the backs of the legs and then roll back. Exhale, come up and try to catch your balance. So inhale back. Find that breath. Use it to help you. Use it to help loosen up the low back for any tight spots that you might be feeling. Two more here. Awesome. Good. Okay, we're going to do it. I'm going to face away from you just because I think it'll be a little easier to see. But you need your hand weights. You're going to be laying on your back, and you're going to take legs and arms up toward the ceiling. So even though those arms are reaching up toward the ceiling, find where your shoulders are still kind of connected down to the mat. Lots of belly work here to hold those legs up. And we're going to do opposites. So as one arm opens out to the side, the other leg is going to open to the other side. And then you're going to pull them back up to the center and switch sides. So you're going to inhale and open one arm, opposite leg, exhale and hug back in. So as the arm and the leg are moving, the other arm and leg and center of your body are trying to hold super still. So lots of belly work here. These don't have to be big. You could go out just a few inches either way. Really trying to maintain that strong center. Let's do one more on each side. Good, and then bend your knees. Hug the legs in. You can take a little stretch there. Awesome. Okay, let's come up to seated, and we're going to do some of our saw. So again, if sitting here is not comfortable, bend those knees, sit on a cushion, whatever you need to do to find a nice tall spine. You're going to have one weight in each hand. Arms are going to come out wide, and then as you rotate, you're going to reach one hand toward that opposite foot. Inhale and stack tall. Go to that other side. So this movement is all thoracic spine or rib cage movement. We're really trying to keep those hips anchored down. So the legs are going to hold still. The hips are not going to lift as you rotate side to side. You're going to get that twist through the rib cage. Good. If If those arms and shoulders are getting tired, you can set the weights down on this one. One more on each side. Good. And then arms are going to relax. So we're going to keep your weights with you, but come to your stomach. And so we're not actually going to hold the weights. You're going to have one hand on top of each of them. And we're going to do kind of a slow lift. So one arm, let's do left arm. Left arm is going to reach forward just a tiny bit as that right leg lifts. And then you're going to lower back down. So it's not a big movement, but you're going to lift the head and chest. Right arm this time can roll forward just an inch or so as that left leg lifts. And then come back down. So we're doing that cross body movement, trying to lengthen, creating a nice long diagonal across the body. One more on each like this. If this feels good for your body, keep doing this. Otherwise, we're going to turn it into like a slow motion swimming where you're going to lift the weight. So it's still just one arm and the opposite leg, but this time the hand weight comes up with you. Exhale to come back down, and then switch to that other side. Inhaling on one side and back down, and then exhale to switch. One more on each side here. Good. Just take a moment there. You can let your head come down. You can just lay flat and take a few breaths. And then let's leave those weights out in front of you, hands on top again. So we're not going to be lifting them. And we're going to do a little bit of our swan. If you have any tightness in the low back, you can take those legs further apart. But as you inhale, you're going to lift up the head and chest. So you're just going to let those weights roll back toward you, keeping those shoulder blades plugged in. Exhale, roll your spine back down. So it's a nice, slow, deliberate movement. Inhale, that lifting up of the head and chest. And then exhale, rolling back down. Two more like this. Inhale, that slow lifting up. Exhale, and rolling back down. And then exhale, all the way back down. Let's do a little child's pose here. So you're going to sit back. If this feels okay on your knees, you're going to round out your spine and sit with your hips coming back toward your heels. If that doesn't feel good on your knees, you could absolutely turn to your back and hug your legs in toward your chest. So just take a little moment there. And then we're going to come back onto your stomach for one more. So this is another exercise that we do on the reformer, but we're going to do a version of it here with your hand weights. So you're going to you're going to be holding the weights, hands out into a T, forehead starting down toward that mat. As you inhale, you're going to lift up the head and chest, reach those hands back toward your hips, exhale, and come back down. So it's inhale, lift the arms, reach back toward the hips, exhale, arms come back into that T and come back down. So on the reformer, we call this T-pull because you'll be pulling straps. Exhale back in. So here we'll call it T-lift. Lift, extend the spine, and exhale back down. Last one here. Lots of core work to protect that low back as you lift. Exhale, come back. Leave your weights where they are. Do another child's pose. So you can sit back there, stretch out your spine, or turn to your back and hug your legs in. Awesome. Okay, we're going to keep your weights with you, but turn to your back. So we're going to be doing a little bit of our shoulder bridge. So you're going to have one weight on either side of you here, And to start with, I want to leave the weights down on the floor and just have your hands kind of like we did before, where the palms are going to gently press down into those weights. Feet about hip distance apart. As you inhale and do your shoulder bridge, where your hips are going to lift, you're going to imagine like those weights are reaching down closer toward your feet. And then exhale, roll your spine back down, and those weights can return to their position. They might actually move, but they're not going to move far. But it's just that inhale, pressing down, rolling those fingertips toward your heels as the hips lift. And then exhale, melting the spine back down and letting those weights return to that original position. So we're getting that opening of the chest as the hips lift up. And then exhale, and rolling back down. Awesome. That inhale, lifting up, imagining those weights rolling down toward your feet. Exhale, bringing the spine back down and releasing through those arms. One more there. Good. Now you're going to hold your weights in your hands, and we're going to do that bridge. So you're going to come up into your bridge. This will be your starting and ending position here, but we're going to do opposites again. So you're going to float up one arm and the opposite leg, and then bring them both back down and switch sides. Inhale, float up. Exhale, back down. As you switch side to side, your goal is to really keep those hips lifted. You're gonna try not to drop. That inhale, stretching one arm, opposite knee. Exhale, back down. If this is too much work, you can return to your bridge and focus on perfecting your shoulder bridge. That reach back, exhale, back down. One more on each side. Good. Come back into that up position of your bridge, weights down beside you, and then just slowly melt your spine all the way back down. Let's do one regular shoulder bridge there. So that inhale, tilt the hips back, lift up, finding that bridge position. And then exhale, rolling all the way back down. Good. All right, grab your weights, come on up to seated, and we're going to do a version of spine twist. So the purpose of spine twist is really to get, again, that twist in the thoracic spine. The way that we're going to focus on that today is you're going to sit tall. Feel free to bend your knees here. Hug the weights in beside you, or in kind of right in front of your chest. So we're going to twist. I only want you to twist as far as you can go and keep your spine stacked right on top of your head. Once you get to this position, that back arm can open and you can try to go a little tiny bit further. Bring the arm in before you twist back, and then exhale, come back to the center. So it's slow and deliberate. You're going to open, reach that arm back behind you, fold at the elbow, come back with the weight, and then come back to the center. So the goal of the twist is lifting and lengthening through that spine as much as you can, and then maybe getting a tiny bit more by opening that arm. I don't know about you, but I have significant difference side to side that I can feel in my body on this twist. And it's something that's sometimes more easily masked with bigger ranges of motion. So doing something like holding the weights closer to you means that your body can't necessarily hide the side to side difference quite as well. So it's just something to take note of. One more on each side. Good. Awesome. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of our side lying work. So laying all the way in a straight line, letting your arm or your head rest on your arm. One weight is just going to be overhead. So it's just going to be resting in the palm overhead. The other weight is going to rest on top of your hip. Okay, so you're in this nice straight line. Both legs to start with. Both legs are going to float up, and then both legs are going to lower back down. So that inhale to lift both legs up, and exhale back down. It's not a big movement, but because we are in that super straight line, it can be kind of wobbly. So you're going to really work on that core strength to keep yourself in that nice straight line. And again, connecting your movements with your breath. 2 more here. And then we're going to do the same movement with the legs, but we're going to add in this top arm. So as you lift the legs, you're going to reach that arm up. And then as you lower the legs, you can bring that arm back down. So inhale and float everything up. And then exhale back down. Good. I'm going up just above my shoulder, but if you wanted to go higher, you could. You could float that arm all the way up and then bring it all the way back down. Reach. 2 more here. And then we're going to do a nice twist. So what I want you to do is take your top arm forward and take your top leg back. And so the twist, you can reach as much as you want with that top arm and with that back leg, and just twisting through the body there. Take a few breaths. Good. And then come back to the center. So bend your bottom leg. That's just going to help keep us a little bit more stable. The top arm is just going to press down in front of you. And then your top leg is going to lift and lower. So straight out of the hip, you're going to lift straight up and back down. Good. 2 more there. And then with that top leg, we're going to do a little bit of our rond de jambe. So you're going to sweep it forward, lift it up, and bring it back behind you. On rond de jambe, it's really more about making that circle, less about how big it is. So you're going to try to go behind your body as far as you go to the front. That inhale to sweep, exhale to reach back behind. Let's switch directions. So sweep the leg back behind you, lift it up, and bring it over in front. Inhale behind, and exhale to circle. Good. 1 more there. Awesome. We're going to switch sides for those side legs. So I would just switch ends so you can still see me. And we'll start in that one nice straight line. Bottom arm down. And then top arm is going to rest on top of that top hip. So find your core connection here. Let that arm just rest there. And then both legs together. We're going to lift both legs up and lower both legs down. So inhale to lift up and exhale. That top hand, just creating a little bit of extra weight. That lift and lower. Good. 1 more. And then we're going to add in that top arm. So you're going to lift the legs, bring the arm up, maybe just above the shoulder, and then exhale back down. Let's keep that range of motion small for these first few. Good. That lift. 2 more there. And then you can add that further lift of the arm if it feels comfortable. So you can lift the arm all the way up overhead and then lower back down. Both legs lift, reach, exhale back down. If that doesn't feel good for your shoulder, just keep that range of motion smaller. 1 more here. Awesome. Okay, so bend that bottom. Actually, no, let's take our twist. So top arm over in front of you, top leg back behind you, and the rotation is kind of toward the floor with the top half of the body. So just take a nice big twisty stretch there. Good. Then you can slide that arm in, bend the bottom knee. So bottom leg is going to be comfortable there. Top arm is just going to bend in front of you. Top leg coming right out of that hip. we're gonna lift it up and lower back down. So it's a straight leg, lift and lower there. Got 2 more. And then we're gonna do that Rana Jam, or that circle. So sweep forward, lift the leg up and over behind you. One more in that direction. Again, just working on that evenness. And then same thing, sweeping back first. Bring the leg back behind, lift it up and over in front. Find that good strong core connection here. So even though we're laying on our side, try to keep those abdominal muscles engaged. Good, one more. Awesome. Set your weights to the side and we'll do that figure 4 stretch. So you're going to turn to your back, bend one knee and cross the other ankle over it. You could stay here. You could gently press on the knee that's crossed over, as long as that doesn't cause any joint issues. Or you could hug the first leg back toward you. Just find a nice big stretch there, kind of outside of the bent across leg, hip, back side. And just stay there. Take some nice deep breath. And then with that ankle still crossed over the knee, do a twist with the bottom half of the body. So you're going to let those legs drop over. So for me, my left leg is crossed over. The left foot is leading toward the floor. And you're going to breathe here as well. And then still with that ankle crossed over the knee, we're going to come up through the middle and twist to the other side. Here you might have to arrange that bottom foot. I like to slide mine back just ever so slightly. So the top heel is kind of gently pulling down on, so my left heel is pulling down on my right thigh to kind of stretch out those thigh muscles or quadricep muscles. And breathing there. Good, and then come back up through the center. We're going to switch sides. You're going to cross the other ankle over the knee, and again, you can stay here, you could add a little pressure, or you could hug that opposite leg up. This is another spot where it's super common to feel like one leg is tighter than the other, so feel free to just breathe into any tightness that you're feeling. And then we're going to lead with the foot that's crossed over, and you're going to twist that whole shape to one side. Shoulder blades can stay down on the mat here. And just getting the twist kind of from mid-waist underneath the rib cage down through that opposite leg. Working on letting go. So trying not to hold on to tightness, but to really let it release as it will. One more big breath. And then keep that ankle crossed over. You're going to come up through the middle, go to the other side. Again, if you need to slide the foot that's on the floor, if you need to slide it back just a little bit to find a stretch on the top of that quad muscle or the top of the thigh, gently, you don't want to use too much force, but gently use that top foot to create a little bit of downward force to open up that other leg. And just breathing there. Good, come back up through the center and then just set your feet down. We're gonna find those weights again. So grab your hand weights and we're gonna do a little bit of our teaser. So if you prefer a more advanced teaser, you could do this from straight legs. I'm gonna do tabletop today, and it's If you're more at the beginning end of Pilates, I would recommend starting at tabletop. Weights, one in each hand, just kind of down beside you. Palms are going to face up. As you inhale, we're going to curl forward, stretch those legs out. Try to find your seated balance, and those arms are just going to lift up with you. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, arms can come down, roll your spine back down to that starting position. So working on control here. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to roll back down. If that doesn't feel accessible, set your weights down. Hold on back behind the backs of the legs and use the connection between the legs and the hands to find your teaser. And then bend your knees and rolling back down. Any variation is perfectly fine. The one that works for you, your working level, is what you should be shooting for. And then bend the knees and come back down. We're going to do about 6 teasers total. And then just come all the way back down. Set your weights down if you have them. Hug your knees in, and let's stretch out that low back and rock a little side to side. Awesome. Hug one leg up, come all the way up. We're going to do seal without any weights, so no hand weights on this one. For seal, if you can, you're going to take your hands through the middle of the legs and hug onto those ankles. If you find that that's too tight when we get going, you can absolutely take the arms out to the sides, but you're going to find your seated balance. Open, close the legs 3 times. So you're going to clap those feet. And then as you inhale, roll back. You can clap the feet again. Exhale and come back up. You can do the mini rock version of this. That's perfectly fine. Any variation that works for you. That inhale, 3 claps, and exhale, finding the balance. The clapping is definitely part of the exercise, but if you're at the point where it's too much to handle, work on finding those balance points. Instead, go with that inhale. One more here. Awesome. All right, we're going to use your weights for one more exercise here before we go into our roll downs. We're going to be kneeling. So if kneeling is not friendly to your knees, absolutely put something underneath, a little extra padding. And we actually only need 1 weight. So let's hold the weight in your right hand. So you're going to be on all fours. Left hand's just going to be right underneath the shoulder. Find that good strong core connection here. As you inhale, we're going to float up with the weight that has, or the hand that has the weight. And then as you exhale, slide under your body, then twist. And then we'll come up again. So big inhale, you're going to rotate up there. Exhale to slide under. One more. On this last one, you're going to stay under there. So find a comfortable position. Try to maybe get that shoulder down. That may or may not be accessible, but just find a spot where you can relax there. Take a few deep breaths. And then just make your way back up, and we'll switch sides. So right hand is going to press down. The left hand is going to hold on to that weight. You're going to do that rotation up. You're going to open up through the left side and then bring the arm under and twist. Inhale that lift up and exhale to twist. One more. On this third one, find a resting position. If there's one accessible to you, you're going to hold there and breathe. Awesome. And then just come back up. So set your weights off to the side. We're going to do a little standing roll down. If you want to do this up against a wall, you absolutely can. Otherwise, you can do it standing right in the middle of your mat, wherever you are. So you're going to find hip distance apart with the feet. And just take a moment to look at those feet and kind of shift your weight back and forth until you've got even weight across both feet. We're going to leave arms down here and just do that nice ragdoll version. So you're going to tuck your chin forward and just imagine, kind of picture your spine. Picture it rolling forward, one vertebrae at a time. We're just going to slowly stretch forward. Finding that stretch in the backs of the legs, finding the stretch in the low back, hanging here. It's a great place to take stock of your body. Are you holding tension anywhere that you don't need to? Let those shoulders go, maybe do a little side-to-side sway. Let the head fall toward the chest. Just breathing there. If you're someone who holds a lot of tension in your low back, go ahead, bend the knees here, and it'll shift the stretch a little bit more to the low back, a little bit less in the backs of the legs. Any variation of the roll down that feels good for your body. We're going to come back to the center, and then nice and slowly, you're going to roll back up, coming up through that low back. Again, you can picture the spine as it just unrolls itself and stacks your head all the way tall. Very nice. Excellent job, everyone. You are all done.